Okay, guys. Do you all have as much money as you want? No, I see a few people shaking their head. No, we don't. Anyone that says money doesn't buy you happiness probably don't have any. And the reason I'll say that, I don't know if you guys have seen Boiler Room. There's a great scene where he takes out his Ferrari keys and he throws them down the desk and he's talking to all the new employees. But the point is, I feel quite qualified to talk about this because out of college I was broke. I had a lot of good luck and worked very hard in my 20s, and I was a millionaire several times over in my late 20s. And then I pursued some other avenues, was kind of unlucky, made some bad decisions, and then I was nearly broke again, and now I'm back on the way up. So I've been up and down a few times. And it's definitely easier to make a dream life when you have a lot of money behind you. Money definitely doesn't buy you happiness, but it's definitely easier to follow the path of doing things that will bring you happiness. Now you might be thinking, oh, I'm not that person. Money doesn't define me. No one said it more eloquently than the great metaphysical poet Khalil Gibran. He said, they deem me crazy that I won't sell my days, they deem me mad because I won't sell my days for gold. I think they're crazy because they think my days have a price. And I love that. I've always loved that quote because that's what we're trying to balance. We're trying to balance our time versus our money. But sadly, to some extent, money does define everybody. You all have bills to pay. You all have things you want to buy. You all have dream bucket list vacations you want to take. And it's just, we actually, in the table topics, we came to that 70,000 a year. That's what psychologists say. They say, if you make 70,000 a year, that's your blanket. That's when your basic shelter, your food, your healthcare, the basic necessities are met. And then above that, it doesn't create more of an impact in happiness. But I can tell you from experience, I was definitely a lot happier when I was making more than 70,000 a year. I'm trying to keep it real, exactly. And there's a phrase called "fuck you money," and that phrase comes from the fact that you don't have to answer anybody. You can dress like me. I dress very casual. I've even got some stains on my pants. But you can dress very casual. You don't have to answer anybody. You have enough money to live whatever life you want without answering to anybody. And the great thing about that is you have ownership over you and your time, and it's kind of, what I would say the definition of American freedom as a immigrant here. And I think that's always how I looked at money. Money was the freedom for me to do whatever I wanted to do, to pursue whatever avenue I wanted to pursue. It's not about the material things, of course. I have a new car, and I do, like anyone else, you do enjoy nice things, even though I dress like I'm a student. But it's not going to buy us happiness if we go down that route. So, what is the solution here? The solution is it's up to all of us to educate ourselves about money. And I'm not talking about formal education. Even in I think in England anyway, you go all the way through college, and I don't think they even have a class in high school. There's no kind of financial education classes. And I did an MBA in finance, and I can tell you that there were some great things I learned from there. For instance, you get good business network through your alumni. You know how to kind of talk the talk. When you have an interview, you can talk, I did this, I got a great MBA, blah, blah, blah. So it probably got my first job. But in terms of real world knowledge for an MBA, I would say it's close to useless. I think you'll get a lot more if you just set up a small business and hire an employee or two and then failed. I think that you'd learn probably a lot more in something like that than you would doing an MBA. I'll give you a perfect example. There was a Russian economist, Burton Malkiel, and he wrote this book called A Random Walk Through Wall Street. And in that, he said that stocks follow, any stock at any time has all the knowledge about that stock in it, hence reflected in the price. So there's no money to be made through stock trading because they're efficient. So I studied that, and I spent 10 years at the Board of Trade making money through inefficiencies. So it goes to show, that's just one example, I don't want to bore you guys, but MBA, that the difference between theory and practice is night and day. So, what is the key to all of our money problems? Well, firstly, I want us to have the right attitude about money, because if you're that guy, the metaphysical poet, oh, my days don't have a price, I'm not gonna live through money, you're never gonna get it. You have to have the right attitude first. So I'm gonna leave you a great quote from Atlas Shrugged by one of the book's heroes, Francisco da Cunha. He was a very, very wealthy, successful businessman. He had a rousing speech. And he said, money is made before it can be looted or mooched. It's made by the effort of every honest man to the extent of his ability. It demands that you sell not to your weakness, to men's stupidity, but your talent to their reason. And it demands that you buy not the shoddiest that they offer, but the best that your money can find. And that's, for me, the right approach to money. It's not, I feel like now we're kind of in a period where it's almost deemed to be, if you're wealthy, you somehow got it through dishonest means. If you have that mentality, you're never going to be wealthy. You have to have, that's a more entrepreneurial approach to money. You can't make money unless you respect money. That's the first thing. The second thing, knowledge is power, and little knowledge goes a long way. There's a great book on real estate called Real Estate Investing by Gary Keller, and he has a few tricks that you can do, such as you buy a building, FHA loan, you put 3.5% down, and then you can buy your leverage. If the building appreciates, you're going to get 20 times the leverage of the appreciation, cash on cash return, because you're doing this tiny loan where you barely put anything down. That's something that I never knew until recently. I wish I had known that when I moved here. I would have bought a building with nothing down. A perfect example. Or you can add me on LinkedIn. I post a lot of articles on there, and you can find all these great little tricks. For instance, since 2009, the stock market is up 400%. So if you don't respect the cycles, it's probably now isn't the best time to be buying stocks, but it was in 2009. How would you know that if you didn't, read a quick article, which I'm sure in the newspapers you read. So just little knowledge goes a long way, but the right knowledge has got to be self-knowledge. Number 3, don't forget Carl Gibran's words about money. Our days don't have a price in some sense. So you have to, I'm basically giving you the two extremes, and of course the route to the dream life is somewhere in the middle. Money gives us the opportunity to live a life that will bring us a lot of happiness, but chasing money by itself won't. So, use money, don't let it use you. Because if you don't, you'll simply never have the resources to get the most out of this life, because most things have a price.